first thing is actually congratulating you on the album. I think it takes a lot of inspiration to keep pumping out albums, after almost 30 years.
Yeah.
And still being inspired, I think that's the most difficult thing. How you do it? Do you usually keep a notebook on tour and you just keep writing stuff?
Yeah, I always have some little notepads, and then if something seems important, I write stuff down. But usually, when I'm ready to do another album, I'm always I feel I'm overflowing, ideas, and then I just try to put as many ideas on tape and do a little demo, and then in the end I weed out which ones I think are the best or the most important. And the first song on this album was a song which was very important for me and for many fans of Ronnie James Dio. That was the first song which came to my mind, and I sat down, it was 1.5 years ago, and I wanted to write something to give thanks and honor, Ronnie's amazing talent. And it was my second tour in my life, 1987, and I had the great chance to meet him then, and then we toured together in 2000, and we actually became great friends, and I loved his voice, I loved his personality. And then so the song Hero was the first song which was written for the record. And
so was Ronnie's death actually the spark that put you into motion again? Because I think that for many classic artists, like you are right now, after so many years, someone so close, like Ronnie, seeing him die, puts you in another different perspective about how important things are, about not taking things for granted, even after you have, your fan base and everything. Sometimes things can happen, you can go away. And
and that's something so great, suddenly not anymore, living here, with us, and hopefully, there's an afterlife, or hopefully we will all meet again. But that was so shocking, and I know many fans felt the same, and then, I think it was one of the saddest days in my life, and I know many people felt that way, and
even if you weren't really close to him, it was like almost, when a family member dies, that you feel like everything has stopped, or something like that. I mean, I remember the day I just came from a Kiss show, went into Blabbermouth, saw the news, and it was like, like when they tell you your grandfather has died, or your aunt has died, or something like that. Maybe they're not so close to you because you see them like every couple of years, like maybe you see Ronnie James every couple of years on tour, but it still hits, very hard.
Totally. I think, that hit me the most I think in my dad, he died in 2000. That was that was tragic. And then 1 year later, my guitar player, he died. Mario Parillo was his name. He was a great guitar player, and we actually played on the Dio tour. We toured together in 2000, Ronnie James Dio and Yngwie Malmsteen, and then Mario got sick, and we thought it's just a cold or something, and then he died a couple of months later. He had a form of cancer which I guess was impossible to cure. So and then it totally blew my mind. And then for many years everything seemed okay, and I got over it a little bit, like my dad, he was my best friend, and I loved him so much, and and somehow I got used to it, to not have him anymore in my life. And then with Mario, that took a long time. And then 10 years later, when I heard Ronnie passed away, it's still unbelievable. So that song will be the last song on the record, and it's to honor him.
So how he was with you when you toured with him? I mean, you were such a young girl back then, you were still.
I couldn't speak English, but we had great conversations, and he was super supportive. He was super sweet, and I must say, in 2000, we became really good friends, and we had great talks, and there was always so much heart and soul and so much love, and I watched every show. When he went on stage, every show, and it was a long tour in America. And then I remember I was watching the show on the side of the stage with my band, and suddenly I saw Ronnie James Dio. He left the stage and he went to the monitor guy, and I thought, ah, okay. And then suddenly my band, they said, Doro, you know what's up now? And I said, no. I said, well, you probably have to hop on stage and sing. I said, no, and I almost wanted to run away. And then I saw Ronnie coming back with a second microphone, and then he handed it to me. He said, okay, come up, girl, let's sing together. And then we did, and the last 3 shows, it was actually all in Florida. We sang together, and we put some photos of these great moments in our booklet.
In the booklet.
Yeah, on the last DVD actually. It was dedicated to Ronnie James Dio too, the 25 years in rock. And there you can see the photos, and I looked so happy. I think I looked 10 years old. I was like, happy as a child, and so it was awesome. And then I had the great opportunity to jump in to perform with the Dio Disciples, because Ripper Owens, his daughter, she got married, and he wanted to be there, of course. And then Wendy Dio and her people, they asked me if I want to jump in, and I thought, oh, yeah, of course. And then, of course, in Spain. And,
I saw you in Barcelona when you played the Bikini Club, and it was very, very emotional, because it was still, now it's still fresh, but 1 year ago it was still fresher, and it was the first time for many people listening to those songs live after the tragedy. So it was like, and also, the way you sing things, the sort of passion that you put into it, you could really see that you were feeling, what you were singing. It's not like a professional singer comes out, sings those songs, get the money and fucks off, You were really feeling those things because you had an emotional connection to him.
Yeah, totally. And Greg Goldie and Simon Wright, everybody was like so close, and I felt the spirit, and we all wanted to do right by Ronnie, and perform in the best possible way. And of course nobody can sing as beautiful as Ronnie, but we tried to do our best. And
well, one of the things that Ronnie had is that even when he was getting older, and he was like 67, I think, when he died, he still maintained which is very difficult for a man, especially singing, which is keeping the range.
Yes.
He was getting a little bit lower, but he still kept that. I was listening to the album, and sometimes for female singers it's not as difficult when they grow older, but you still keep most of the range. Maybe some of the higher tones you don't do so much than maybe 25 years ago, but you're still in the same. So how do you take care of the voice? Like not drinking or nothing?
Yeah, but usually it's no sleeping, only stress, only touring or working in the studio, and I love music so much, and I love the fans so much, more than anything else in this world. And when I see that the fans, that they're happy and that they get something out of it, and that they enjoy the concert or the songs, that's what keeps me alive, and what always keeps me like, wanting to, perform my best, and and sing on top of my lungs, like, I think I can always sing much better in front of a great audience. Yeah, in the studio you're just like with one engineer and that's it, but the fans, they're like the magical ingredient, and I think I owe it all to the fans, and I love the fans every day more and more. I always have, but it grows, and it's already astronomical, but it's growing even more. And
I remember that time, where it was like almost, strange to be a Doro fan, back in 98, 99, before you came back with Calling the Wild, and suddenly you started touring a lot and getting to big festivals and getting great
tough times when metal wasn't doing so well.
How do you remember those times?
Oh, it was tough. It was hard. Like, I remember so many bands, like friends of mine, we called on the phone, and then it was, hey, we lost our record deal. What? No way. And then the second guy got, hey, I lost my deal. And so, man, metal had like a very tough time in the 90s. Yeah, and then suddenly in 1999 I felt like it's coming back a little bit. Yeah, and then we did this beautiful tour, the Ronnie James Dio in 2000, and you could feel, metal is getting stronger and bigger again. I think the fans were always there, but the industry suddenly totally changed. everybody wanted to support like the grunge bands. And then every record I did, like people said, yeah, is it grunge? Or like the record coming, I said, no, it's not grunge. I said, then we can't release it. And I said, did you listen to it? No, when it's not grunge, we can't release it. So, yeah, so I think the industry totally, you know, neglected the metal heads. But then in 2000 I felt it's coming back. And now I think metal is doing really well. And
still doing really well, not on the industry side of things, but still festivals and things are getting stronger every year.
Yes.
Even though we have the financial situation we have right now.
Totally.
How does something like that affect an artist? A mid-sized artist like Doro, because I mean, if you're Metallica, you're still getting 2 million euros per show, so you don't give a fuck about anything. You have your money in the bank 1 year before the show. But for a mid-sized artist that relies on merch sales, and having the CD and DVD and many things selling, so it can keep some money can keep coming in. How does the current situation affect you?
You know what, I never measure in these things, and I'm always so happy when we do a great show and when people are excited. Doesn't matter how many people, and I don't even take care of like ticket sales or merch sales or record sales. I don't care. I'm happy when I feel it's a good show, and and I don't, I'm not a business person at all. I love music. I would love to give it all away for free. My manager would kill me when he would hear me say that now. But I really don't care. So to me, it didn't affect me so much, and I just, as long as I can live, as long as I can